speaking of video games, we talked about this a few weeks ago, and I want to bring it up again because there's a video game journalist named Jason Schreier, who I consider to be the probably like one of the most trusted names in video game news. He's the CNN of video game journalism. He wrote for Kotaku for a very long time. He writes for Bloomberg now, but he was the one that would usually post stories about impending video game delays, or he would confirm details about video games before the actual developers did. He was usually the ones that would do or he would write articles about crunch culture, and he was really good at sort of exposing the seedy side of the video game industry. Most notable for having death threats sent to both him and Sean Murray from Hello Games, just for simply announcing that No Man's Sky was being delayed in 2016. Wow. I believe he was the one that revealed Fallout 4 and it being set in Boston before the game was actually announced. I'd say he's a reputable source, and I would trust anything that comes from him before I read it anywhere else. So
I just imagine him like sniffing through the garbage of like every video game building, like outside of in their dumpsters, like, come on, there's got to be something in here. Which could be, I mean, that's a legit way of getting news.
Yeah, that's how it happens most of the time.
Yeah, that's how he feeds his family. Mm-hmm. His most recent article was about Cyberpunk 2077, which we talked about a little bit a couple episodes ago, because it is considered probably one of the biggest disasters in recent video game history. It's been out now for about a month. I will say, coupled with having a new computer, I can actually play it now because a friend of mine pointed me towards a mod that goes in and lets you adjust a bunch of settings that you cannot find within the game. And in messing with these settings, the game is actually playable now, and I'm getting like a consistent 60 frames a second. Like it's like nice. I can play it now, but it took someone having to release a mod that's like, hey, there's like a couple dozen additional settings that you can tweak, like that you can turn off. There's like a grain filter that you can't turn off in game. This mod lets you do it. So yeah, if you're playing on PC and you're still having trouble playing it, there are mods that will make it better. So, but
yikes.
Schreier posted an article on Bloomberg, having done interviews, mostly anonymous interviews with people that worked at CD Projekt about the game, and more or less confirmed, despite being announced about a decade ago, the game didn't actually go into development until about 4 years ago.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
And it shows. It really does show if you've been playing it. Nate, you said your cousin was playing it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on console though, right?
Yeah. Well, I think both. I think one of my cousins is on PC and one is on PlayStation. Okay.
And Fro, you're probably not going to play it for a while, right? You usually wait until these things go on sale.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like when it's like, $15, maybe I'll pick it up. I have been playing that Gwent mini or card game from Project Red or whatever.
Oh, Gwent is amazing. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, but like in my current playthrough of Witcher 3, all I'm doing is playing Gwent. I'm not actually doing anything else. I know it's a standalone game, but like there's something about just loading up Witcher 3 to then go play a game within a game.
Oh, I still do that as well. I have it on Switcher. So as you were saying last few weeks. When was the last time I was on here? How many weeks ago, man?
Probably about 4. I don't know, about a month ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
October?
Last year. So according to so this is coming from Kotaku, reporting on what their former news editor wrote, and Bloomberg says about Cyberpunk's development. At E3 in June 2019, CD Projekt announced that the game would come out on April 16th, 2020. Fans were elated, but internally, some members of the team could only scratch their heads wondering how they could possibly finish the game by then. One person said that they thought the date was a joke. Based on the team's progress, they expected the game to be ready in 2022.
Wow.
Developers about right.
Developers created memes about the game getting delayed, making bets on when it would happen.
That's why it's just better not to ever have a release date. Just be like, it'll be ready when it's ready. Like, never even tell the fans.
Yeah, I don't know about that though, because then they might want to wait for it to be perfect.
Exactly.
I mean, that keeps that's happened before though. When they'll announce a game, will have a release day announced, and it gets, and they'll have that mentality. Like Rockstar Games does it all the time. They're like, we'll announce a release date when the game is like 99% done. Then they announce a release date, and then they end up delaying it at least once.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Nintendo always seems to do it, and they're just like, here's a game. It's like, what? Oh, there's no patches needed here. Just play it. It's there.
When is the new Pokemon Snap game coming out? Because they just announced that. I imagine that's got to be coming out soon. Because
I missed that news snippet. That's interesting.
No shit. Yeah, it's called New Pokemon Snap.
Oh man,
catchy.
So, the old one was on N64. It had like a camera type attachment. Was that what it was? There was some attachment to it, was there not?
There was
a microphone. No, that was like Hey You Pikachu.
Yeah. There was a and it might have been for that too, but there was a special edition N64 that had a like a Pikachu was part of the N64 case, and it would actually talk.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
there was something for sure.
Yeah, Nintendo's about their innovation and not their content.
It's worked for them, sort of. Kind of. It hasn't worked for them. It hasn't worked for them. They're gone.
First party.
They're the worst.
First party. It's their first party stuff. It's the third party games that should be on the Switch. That like Doom Eternal. Why put it on the Switch? Why try? Well, Switcher. Like, Switcher. Switcher's cool, but why put it on the Switch?
Dude, we discussed this before. It's so I can play it while I'm pooping.
I want to play Skyrim when I'm pooping. I don't want to play Witcher when I'm pooping.
You can do that too.
I feel like The Witcher, you have to pay attention. Skyrim is just brainless. Like,
well, I mean, if you drop it down to easy settings and like the I want the story only settings, I think it's called in Switcher, you can essentially just blindly run through the game, like hitting the A button to like swing your sword.
Okay.
And like then you'll hit the next cutscene. You'll be like, aha. And you hit the next, you swing a little bit. You get on Roach. You run around, and then rinse and repeat. You play some Gwent, and life's just merry in the Switcher.
And then you go,
and all while you're doing a number 2.
And then you go to wipe, and then you see blood on the tissue paper, and you're like, so what mistakes have I made? I need more fiber.
Went too hardcore.
Or just get a bidet like I did. Just give yourself a quick bidet enema. Make sure the pipes are cleaned out. Anyway, boy, do I digress. So Jason Schreier posted a bunch of tweets after his article, Bloomberg article posted, and there's a couple of other bits that were not included in the original article. Kotaku summed up some of those tweets, but the tweets, I think, that's what I like is he posts the article, and the article's great. All about Cyberpunk, and it's really troubled development, getting some great anonymous insight from CD Projekt devs. But the tweets that he posted afterwards, all the things he couldn't fit into the article, I think are even better. So for example, quote from Schreier on Twitter: veteran devs from other companies were shocked at CDPR's free-for-all production. One example: if someone needed a shader, they'd make it with no pipeline in place to determine whether or not someone had already made one with the same function.
Oh boy.
Like, imagine like with Red Dead 2 that you spent weeks animating the horse testicles only to find out that someone else animated the horse testicles and there was no communication between teams.
I don't think it'd be the horse testicles. It'd be the sheep testicles that look exactly like the horse testicles, but just need to get scaled up. That's innovation.
Yeah, it's true.
How do we fix this? Just change the hue of the balls. Change the direction in which the veins are going.
No one will know.
Another tweet from Mr. Schreier. Quote, a few non-Polish staffers, remember CD Projekt is based out of Poland, a few non-Polish staffers shared stories about coworkers using Polish in front of them, which violated company rules, made them feel ostracized. They said, were their coworkers talking shit about them? Combined with crunch and low salaries, this led quite a few expats to quit.
That's a weird one.
That is very strange.
Yeah.
I mean, what, you would actually ban a language at work?
Yeah, they didn't want, because it was English and Polish devs all within the same environment. So they said, hey, everyone speaks English here.
Okay.
I'm sure that went over well.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Free Rosetta Stone for everyone.
Right? Like, hey, why don't we have like cool like language sharing classes, and then like you guys can have a chance to literally like we'll coach you in English, you coach us in Polish, win.
Yeah, we all get along.
3 more tweets from Mr. Schreier. Quote, last year when CDPR explained that it shares 10% of profits with staff, gamers, and pundits, staff, gamers and pundits assumed the devs would get rich. Adrian Jakubiak said he made around $400 a month when he started as a tester in 2015. In 2018, as a junior programmer, he was making approximately $700 a month.
That's a little better.
That's, I mean, isn't that what people are getting with those stimulus checks? Like 600, 700? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Where was he living in the world though? Is like one of those places where like $700 is like nearly retirement worthy. Like
that's a good point.
Middle of nowhere in Texas or San Francisco, where $700 is enough to buy you a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mr. Schreier says, quote, if you're wondering just how much Cyberpunk 2077 changed over the past decade, well, up until 2016, it was a third-person game. Features that were originally envisioned, like wall-running, flying cars, car ambushes, were cut along the way, not atypical in game development. Which makes sense, because Witcher's a third-person game.
Yep.
And you can put a lot of effort into character creation in Cyberpunk, but then you never see V, like, unless you walk up to a mirror. And then activate the mirror, because there's no immediate reflection on the mirror. You actually have to trigger the mirror to turn on, so then the reflection can kick in, so then you can look at yourself.
Now the game's worth playing. I'm in.
And finally, quote, Mr. Schreier, if you're wondering why the police system in Cyberpunk 2077 is so janky, well, it was all done at the last minute. As is evident by the final product, it was unclear to some of the team why they were trying to make both an RPG and a Grand Theft Auto with a fraction of Rockstar Games' staff. There you go.
So what is janky about the cops? Is it that they teleport?
They're just kind of there, and they just I just think they're really bland. There's really no intelligence in the artificial intelligence of the police system. Like they'll if you get a wanted level, it's super easy to lose it. But they also, at the same time, if you're within range of the police, then they'll just start attacking you for no reason, and they just get relentless. So it very, very clearly seems like it was the police system was implemented at the last second, which is exactly my suspicions were confirmed by Jason Schreier in his tweet and his article. So it's probably, I'll make this the last time we talk about Cyberpunk 2077. It really just it continues to be a marvel in that it's been out for a month now, and nothing, like, the studio has apologized, like they've publicly apologized for just how rough the launch was, but like their roadmap for what they're going to do to fix the game doesn't it, like, I feel like this is going to be the Highlander 2 of video games. You'll be able to put together various director's cuts and special editions and maybe make it worth engaging with, but it's just like it's the state of the game right now, I think, is going to be the state of the game for its entire existence. I don't think they're going to pull a No Man's Sky and do a complete 180 and have it be like one of the best games ever.
That's really unfortunate.
I mean, that would require like releasing like free content that just unheard of for Blockbuster Studios.
Oh yeah, that DLC will never be free for Cyberpunk. No, they're gonna maybe fix the game to some degree, but then they're still gonna make people pay for those fixes. So
damn.
Get it on PC and download some mods. That's what you do with the Bethesda games. Get those community made the unofficial bug patches. Those always make the games a bit more playable. Because leave it to the community to fix what the game developers couldn't with all that crunch time.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what is just the most like disgusting thing is just the crunch culture.
Yep.
Got to finish it. Got to ship it. Got to get the next thing going.
No one's happy. No one in there is. It's not a passion project anymore. It's just all fucking fuck.
Would you guys be willing to put up with that if you worked in an industry where it was mandated?
Nah, I don't know if I'd be super fond of it. No. I mean, got to work on it till completion. Like it's ready when it's ready, kind of deal.
Yeah,
wouldn't want to like have to like be on some set schedule. I mean, it's good to have a goal, some sort of like date to strive for, but like you can't be like, this is shipping on this date. It's like, but dude, we're like only like 75% done. Like I haven't even figured out how our main player is going to be running through the swamp yet without the game crashing. Like, and they'll be like, well, we don't care. You got 1.5 months. Like, so you better get on it. By the way, your interns are all gone. We don't have none of the money for that because I had to go golfing. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like sad coding.
So to counter that, I would say that deadlines are important because it keeps you motivated and keeps you like, not fucking all day.
Right.
And I don't know. So I've experienced both. When I was making videos, I was making them to the day that they were due. Like we would make them the week of. So like they were due Saturday. We would work up until Saturday and then release it on Saturday. And on Sunday, we would start working on the next one. That was hell. Like we eventually just fucking said, we can't do this anymore. We started losing our goddamn minds because we were like, this is so fucking stressful. So then eventually we took a break and we collected videos in the bank and then we released it that way. That became easier to deal with, but we still have the model of trying to release one a week. So I feel like it's helpful to have like a little bit of both. Like you can't go forever because myself, I'm a perfectionist. I will keep something until it's literally perfect, which I'm sure many people are aware that most things are never perfect. You always find that something that you're like, this could be better. I could do this better. Let me try this again. And then you just do that forever.
Yep.
So it's difficult. So I would say you should guess when it should be done and add like maybe a year or two. That's safe.
Yeah. I like that approach. You're also, I mean, I know for a long time, Nate, your video production was your source of income, but you're also not working for a major corporation that is,
yeah, that's true.
They only care about what their investors care about and getting things out during a certain fiscal quarter or whatever.
True.
I'm not a businessman. I am just throwing out terms that I pick up along the way.
Well, once upon a time, I did technically work for YouTube in a way, right? Because you make videos for them and
independent contractor.
Yeah.
You work for YouTube or did you work for Google?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Okay.